Hi, welcome back to another vlog. Today I'm going to go back. I mentioned in one of my previous vlogs that, when I was diagnosed with cancer, I didn't know what would keep me going. I needed to find something other than living for my children to keep me going. So I'm going to talk about that one a bit more today. So we're going to go back to when I was first diagnosed, and they took the biopsy, and then I had to wait 2 weeks for the results, and I said that those 2 weeks were hell, and quite frankly they were. I have never been to such a dark place before, because I told a few people, obviously, that were close to me, about what was going on, but it wasn't general knowledge. But because I was so low and didn't know what was going on, didn't know what was going to happen or anything like that, I was very stressed, to say the least. And that caused a lot of arguments, which actually makes the whole thing worse, because you sort of think, in the movies, everyone chips in and pulls together and everything like that, and quite frankly life isn't like the movies. And people weren't rallying around because not a lot of people knew about it being general knowledge or anything like that, and the people that did know were probably just as tense as what I was and just as stressed, and so in fact it caused arguments, and that made the whole thing worse, because then all I could think was, oh great, I'm going to live to spend the rest of my life arguing with those closest to me. So you sort of think, well, what is the point in all of this? I'm gonna fight this horrible, nasty, vicious disease to spend the rest of my life fighting with those I'm closest to, because I wasn't happy, because I didn't know, was my life worth living? I do gardening work, but quite frankly those gardens will carry on getting weedy and keep on growing quite happily without me tending to their every need. So not exactly a major loss. And what about my friends, what about my family? And it was like, I was looking at them, and because we were arguing, I was thinking they're going to actually live quite happily without me. So yeah, it was a very dark place. But then after my diagnosis, and I knew what I was dealing with, and I knew that ultimately, hopefully, everything was going to be okay, then I started to feel a little bit more positive. I wouldn't say relaxed, but certainly a lot less stressed than I had been. But then not only that, once it became general knowledge, people started sending me messages. And I'm going to say this now. If you've got someone in your life, close or not, family or friend, lover, whatever, and they are going through something, maybe not as serious as cancer, maybe something more serious, maybe their cancer's a lot worse than mine, maybe it is life-threatening. Tell them how you feel. Tell them now. No matter how small and insignificant it feels to you, to them, it could actually mean the difference between having a good day that's hopeful and positive and having a bad day. And that is seriously the bottom line, because I don't think that those people that were sending me messages realised just how important those messages were to me. One of the ones that I got always sticks out in my mind, and it was from a young girl that I know, and she was basically telling me that I had been an inspiration to her and that I had encouraged her to live her life the way that she wanted to and to be who she wanted to be. And that was just one of them. And then, you know, like from my friends, you know, be strong and, you know, keep trying, keep positive, all that sort of thing. And all of a sudden, little by little, I started to feel more positive about things, more positive about myself. And it occurred to me that you can go on living your life and thinking that you have not impacted someone else's life, when really you have made a massive impact on someone's life. And it made me think how valuable words are, and how just a few words of positivity can mean the difference to someone else, just as those words of positivity were making the world of difference to me. So that was what started me feeling more hopeful. The fact that I hadn't been completely invaluable in this life. The fact that, you know, people had appreciated things I'd said to them, words of advice I'd given them, that people enjoyed my company, that people found me inspiring. I mean, that's huge. Whereas I was just like, but I'm just being me. How can I possibly be inspiring anyone, you know? It's just me being me. And so I started to feel more positive, and I started thinking, yeah, actually, you know, I am worth something. And these people were showing me that I was worth something to them, if nothing else. And then a lot of my close friends were saying to me, you know, gosh, you know, you're handling this so well and everything like that. You know, why don't you start writing about it or make videos about it? And I suddenly thought, I'm so open about things like this, then why don't I try? If these videos can inspire someone or bring hope to someone, or make people who have someone in their life who's dealing with this realize how that person may or may not be feeling, or may not be going through something, then, you know, hopefully I can help people to get through this, get through it together. You know, there were times when, you know, I was having a bad day, and I didn't want to hear, oh, for God's sake, here we go again. And I didn't want to hear, oh, you'll be fine, it's just a day, you know, you'll get through it. I don't want to hear that. What I would have loved to have heard is someone say to me, you're right to feel like this. You're allowed to feel like this. It's okay to feel like this. That's what I wanted. And I just, you know, just even for someone to sit in a room with me, you know, not talk. I didn't want to talk about anything. I just wanted to sit there and be allowed to feel sorry for myself, you know. And so, you know, if I have brought hope, if I have brought inspiration, if I have helped people to understand what others around them may be thinking or feeling, then that is fantastic. And quite frankly, I couldn't wish for anything more. And that has given me a reason to hope, to carry on, to feel like I have got something to live for, because I've got these experiences to share. You know, advice if you want it, although I don't, you know, I'm not an expert on advice or anything like that. But these experiences are so individual. And so that is what gave me hope. And seeing how my children were coping with this, there have been days when I have been low, and then all of a sudden they've come up and given me a hug. Mummy, I love you. You know, that little things, just the little things like that. every day, you know, you get a little bit more hope, and then all of a sudden you have a bad day, and that's fine. And then the next day, you know, your kids will come up and they'll give you a hug, and then it's all right again, you know. And that is how I managed to find something worth living for. You know, those days of hope, those messages of inspiration from my friend, the fact that, yeah, even though the gardens do go on growing without me, they're still there. And I have been so lucky that my customers are waiting until I'm better, and I hope I get better soon, because spring's starting and things are starting to grow again. So the fact that I've got my gardening to look forward to, because I love it and I'm so passionate about it, that has been a big thing to keep me going. You know, give me something to look forward to, and obviously seeing my children grow up, that's given me something to look forward to as well. So yes, I'm going to say this one last time, you know, if you've got someone around you who's dealing with something or going through some heavy shit, send them a message. Tell them you love them. Tell them you're inspired by them. Tell them how brave you think they are. Anything at all. How much you love their company. How great it was going out with them last Saturday. Whatever. Just something. Because that can help them keep going. Okay, until next time. See you later.